Hey, it's Charlie here, the founder and CEO of Trade Growth, and I've got a very exciting quick 10-minute video for you today on how to run Facebook ads and not waste your money. So this is going to be 10 minutes. I'm going to keep it very concise on even how I've been able to get, $4 cost per lead, or even $3.52 you can see here for leads. You can see we've got 137 there. Obviously spend a lot more. That is just one ad set. So yeah, you can see that we spend quite a bit of money on ads and we've been able to get fairly cheap cost per leads. And the reason we've been able to do that is because I follow what I'm sharing in this video. So if you are a local business, like, a roofing company, solar, specifically for trade businesses, this is going to be mega in terms of the value. So let's jump straight into it. Now, the big idea here is you don't need a complicated Facebook ad funnel. This can literally be set up with 4 things. Number 1 is a simple campaign setup, which I'm going to walk you through. Number 2 is a clear offer that is attractive. Number 3 is a lead form that filters out time wasters. And then the 4th thing is fast follow-ups within 5 minutes and making sure you have a CRM connected to it. So this only takes 10 minutes to just lock in, and let's jump straight into it. Now, because Meta gives you tools like leads campaigns and instant forms, and the algorithm in 2026 is so good, it can even place your ad in front of the people that you want it to without even having to do any of the interest-based targeting or the keywords. You don't need to do any of that. You can just let Meta's AI algorithm do its work. And just by having in the actual image of the ad who you're looking to serve, it knows who to place it in front of. So we can keep it broad. We literally don't have to do much at all in 2026. So first things first is you're going to want to make sure you have a business profile, and you want to make sure you have an actual ad account. If you don't have an ad account, make sure to get that set up. I'll make a video on my channel very shortly. So yeah, be tuned to check that out if you don't have an ad account yet, but I assume you have one if you're watching this. But long story short, let's jump into the simple structure of it. So you're going to click create, and we're actually going to click create a new campaign. So the first thing we're going to click, you can see you get a different option from awareness or traffic, engagement, leads. It looks a bit overwhelming, but I promise you it's not. Just click on leads. That's what we want, right? We want leads coming in. So once you click on that, it's going to load this screen, and you can basically edit it from the actual campaign level, or the ad set level, or the ad creative level. So this is the ad campaign level. So just call it something like, let's say you are let's say you're a HVAC company. You would just call this HVAC leads or something. Now you can keep pretty much all of this the same. You don't really have to do much at all. Just put in the budget that you want to spend. So I would recommend starting with maybe $20 a day, just a small budget. Run that for a week or two. You could do 20, 30 bucks, 40 bucks a day, depending, but don't go crazy. You want to make sure you have everything dialed in terms of the actual funnel before you increase the actual ad spend. So yeah, keep this as highest volumes. You don't have to change anything. Just click on next. And then for the ad set name, you don't really have to do much besides call it whatever you want. So you can have different ad sets if you're testing different angles, like offer angles is what I mean. So yeah, if you have free estimate and you want to test that compared to a different, offer, then maybe create a different ad set for that. But long story short, you could just call this free estimate. So free estimate ad set, or whatever you want. For the conversion location, this is basically where leads are going to opt in. So a common mistake is people putting website and instant forms. You don't want this. You want to click on where it says single right here, and you just want to click on instant forms. So that is very simple. Just make sure you select your correct Facebook account. So if I go on my one, that's perfect. Keep this the same. You don't have to change anything, guys. Maximum number of leads, that's what we want as the performance goal. It's as simple as that. So yeah, we're just letting Meta do its thing because it's so good nowadays with the algorithm. You don't really have to change this. If you want an end date, so if you want it to stop, if you want it to cut off the ads after, let's say, a week, you can do that just by going in here and today's, let's say, the 2nd of June. So after 7 days, boom, 9th of June is going to cut the ads if you want that. However, you can just leave it as unchecked, and then manually do this. Now, this is the only thing you have to change, is just your location. So assuming you are a local business, let's just use United States as an example. All you're going to want to do is just select, a 30-mile radius of your service areas. So assuming that you have your service areas and, there's, towns or suburbs or residential areas that you want to actually serve, and you're able to go to them. So you don't want to put United States here because it's going to be way too big. You can't serve that. You don't want to put Texas if you live in Texas. You want to put, San Antonio, Texas, or even a smaller part of that. I wouldn't make it too small. Don't make it too big like a state. Just, 30-mile radius is fine. So if we let's do San Antonio, Texas as an example. And then you can even do an actual radius. If you want to drop a pin, you can do that. And yeah, that's what I recommend. And then you don't really want to change too much else, basically, because as I say, we want to let Meta do its thing here. So that is very good. In terms of placements, you can, if you want, make sure it doesn't place it on, Facebook or vice versa on Instagram. So if you want it to just run on Facebook, you can just tick Facebook. It's as simple as that. And besides that, I really wouldn't change too much here. So it is very easy for, a business owner like yourself, or, whoever's watching this, to just come in here and run ads nowadays, because it is just so easy, and start with a low budget, and it's great, if you think about it. So yeah, now if you want to click next, you want to basically create your ad creative. So an ad creative is what the actual person sees. So they're scrolling and they come across your ad. That is an ad creative. You can either have a static image ad creative, so that's an image, or you could have a video ad creative. We found, both work typically. You may get a higher quality lead coming in off a video because, that it's more descriptive of what your ad is if you're speaking, if that makes sense, compared to an image. People may just see the image, be curious, fill out the form. It may not result in the best quality of leads, but I recommend doing both. So typically you would have 3 to 5 different ad creatives in your ad set. And yeah, you could have maybe 3 image ads, which you can use ChatGPT to create. Just make sure you're calling out and you have an attractive offer, which we'll go over in a second. And then maybe have 2 video ad creatives that are edited nicely. So that is very important. I won't go too much into that. You will need to create an instant form. So click on create form. This is just where the leads actually opt in. Call the form whatever you want. So let's call it HVAC lead form. You can either choose more volume or higher intent. I would typically do more volume if you're starting, and then if the lead quality isn't the best, switch to high intent. But it's better to get leads coming in, check, phone them up. If they're not, what you need, then you can obviously increase the qualification. You can add more questions. You can make sure to verify their phone number. All of these things are perfectly fine. So here, just, enter your headline. So you could say something like, fill out this quick form for a free estimate, something like that, and then say, we'll reach out assuming you are a good fit. Yeah, doesn't really matter too much. Now you just add your questions here. So I recommend adding, some multiple choice or short answers. So you could do a multiple choice or what is your problem? Or, you could have maybe 2-3 questions, just add a few multiple choice there. And then obviously make sure you get their phone number. So don't have that as ticked, because you want to make sure you get their phone number. And I recommend just putting that above there. So in summary, just add your questions here, and then you can see that it's very nice because, so if I just go like this as an example, question 1, add another one, let's call it question 2, but you would obviously put your questions here. You can see here is how it works. So they click on the actual link, it says fill out this form. They have 1 question, 2 questions, they put in their full name, email, phone number, and then boom, like that's it. Just make sure you, on the next page here, ideally add a link. So what I mean by that is, you know, you could have your like post form submission landing page if you want to like nurture the prospect. It's not too important. So like go to website, this is what I mean. If you put your actual website here, that can be good. It's worth doing. And just click create form. Once you've done that, just make sure it is selected. So obviously I'm not gonna do that because I'm not a HVAC company, but you can see that you would just put the form right here as ticked, and that is pretty much good to go. And then yeah, just make sure you do add your either image or video ad creatives, and you do that for 3 different times. And it's as easy as going on to ChatGPT nowadays and just getting it to actually create the image ads for you in 1080. So it's 1080 by 1080 as a ratio, or you could use a different one, but stick with that one. And then just make sure you have the copywriting. But once again, you can get ChatGPT to write the primary text, the headline, and description for you. Just obviously call out who you're looking to serve in the actual. So like this is my form as an example, just to give you a quick one. So very easy to do. And yeah, that is pretty much it. So you would obviously, as I said, upload your ad creative as an image or video, and then it will get you to do the primary text, which is what they see at the top, in terms of like the actual copywriting. That's not the image or the video. This is just text, telling them to, like, as the description, it could be, you know, sign up or get a free quote. And that is pretty much it for this. Let me just make sure I've got everything. So we've gone over, you know, the actual ad campaign structure. We've gone over the budget. We've gone over the ad set setup, you know, setting a 20-30 mile radius around the town, city. Audience, we're keeping it broad. You can obviously make sure the demographic is above 25 or 30. Yeah, just leave broad for the targeting. The offer, this is quite important. So if you're a landscaper, you wouldn't just have like, you know, professional, reliable service with 10 years of experience. Somebody cares about that. So if you're a landscaper, you would put something like get a free garden quote this week, or driveway company, you would say see how much a new driveway would cost at your property. Roofer, book a free roof inspection before small leaks become expensive. So that's what you would do as the, you know, primary text and the description and, you know, the headline as well. So hopefully that makes sense. Like, these are just end result offers that are very important, and free is a very powerful word in marketing, and it's going to get you a cost per lead that you are, you know, desiring of a cheap, you know, $10 or less cost per lead. For static image ad creatives, yeah, just use like real photos if you want. You can use before and after photos. You can upload a before and after photo to ChatGPT and say turn it into an image ad creative and call out who you're looking to help, like San Antonio residents, or be more specific than that, but that's an example. Yeah, I think this should basically help you quite a bit. So this is what the prompt would look like for ChatGPT. So give me, you know, a static Facebook ad creative, and you can even, yeah, as I said, upload your before and after photos just to make it look clean. And then, yeah, so for the actual ad copy, which is, as I said, the description, and so just an example to show you this. If I just pick a random image right here, click next. This is what I mean by primary text, headline, and description. So the primary text, you would have something like, yeah, this, but a bit longer, basically. And then for the headline, you would call out who you're looking to serve and maybe the offer, and then description. Yeah, so it doesn't show it all the time, but just put something like, click, let's say, get quotes. So click get quote, and we'll get back to you shortly or something. And you can use emojis to spice it up, make it look more engaging, visually aesthetic, all that good stuff. And yeah, for the form questions, as I said, don't ask 15 questions, just ask like 3 to 5 questions, and then connect the form to a CRM. So I use high level, but you can use, you know, other ones. And then, yeah, call the leads quickly. If you do wait a few hours, you know, it's not good. It's just going to ruin the reply rates. Now, if you want me to actually do all of this for you and for your business, just book a call with me. My link to my calendar will be in the description. So if you do book a time, you can speak with me personally, and I can set this up for your business on a low budget, and not charge a ridiculous amount like other agencies would. So yeah, have a great day. Hopefully this helped, and subscribe for more content like this.